Alright, here we go. I'm starting to clean up some parts on the 1955 Buick Century 322 engine. And I'm glad I was looking on the Buick forum. Willie, Old Tank, has some inexpensive restoration procedures on his website. And I remember seeing something about the valley cover, and I brought it up and looked at it because I just got done power washing this thing, and it didn't look too bad. And then he told the website shows him taking this cover off and cleaning it out and putting some new mesh in there, and his didn't look too bad, but this thing is horrible. I mean, my goodness, look at this crap in here. I mean, it's thick. I mean, there's supposed to be screen in there. I can't even see the mesh. It's so bad. And it's just packed in there. Unbelievable amount of crap. There's a little bit of the mesh hanging out right there. You can hardly recognize it. It looks like an old rag. So I am so glad, because I probably would have soaked this in some solvent for a few days and blew it out with an air hose and used it. So I'm sure glad I looked at that and got that idea to cut those spot welds and take this thing out. I'm going to completely disassemble all the spot welds and everything, even that little plate there, because I want to bead blast this thing and I don't want any trapped sand anywhere in this thing. And then I'll spot weld it back together like Willie did. And God, that's amazing. I don't think that thing could even breathe. Incredible. So, you think you got now this engine ran good. I mean, I'm really surprised how bad it is inside. It's amazing. Well, I finally got the other part spot welds cut off, and I got this piece cut off here so I can sandblast all this without the worry of getting any sand left in there. So this thing here is basically the little screening material, but you can see it's totally plugged up. I mean, it's just caked. I don't know how air could even go through that. So I'm sure glad that I took this thing apart, because otherwise this engine wouldn't breathe right, and who knows, that crap may end up down into the new engine. So now I can clean her up and get some new mesh and put her back together. And I finally was able to find some of this mesh, and basically it came off of a humidifier filter, the outside wrap. So I bought 2 of them and peeled off the paper filter material to get this, and I packed it in there real tight, so it's going to fit in there real nice, just the way the factory had it in there. And there we go. And then I'm going to, next step is we're going to spot weld this back together. And that'll be the next thing I'm going to be doing here. Okay, I now have this piece mounted in the vise, and there is a bolt that goes through this to hold the valley cover on. So I put a bolt in to hold it together and also make sure it's lined up. I also put this clamp on here to make sure that this is squished down far enough so when I spot weld this back to the main cover, it'll be lined up. And when I drilled out the spot weld, obviously I have holes on the other side, but what I want to do right now is just spot weld it in a couple spots, then I'll flip it over and I'll probably wire weld those seams in there. So we'll see how this goes. I haven't used this thing in a while, so we'll see if I can get this thing. Okay. There's one. I don't know if I can get this edge here or not. That should do it for now. Yeah, put a few more spot welds on this. It's going to be more difficult because we're at an angle here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Looks like I got real good penetration with my spot welds, so there's really no reason to go back and weld the little holes I've drilled out because it's not going to serve any purpose. And you're never going to see this part again, so I think this part is done. I'll go on and we'll reattach this thing to the rest of the valley cover. I have my valley cover breather bolted through. Got a couple clamps on it. I want to get at least one spot weld there. Maybe there. I don't know. See what I can get on the other side there. See how this goes. I think I can get a nice spot weld right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this little baffle on the couple over here. Spot welder's getting a little warm. Get kind of hot the handle here. Now, as you can see, I put a lot more spot welds on than the factory did. Simply, I don't even know how great this spot welder is, but it looks like I'm getting really good penetration. So I don't know, I don't know if the judges are going to count spot welds on valley covers, but if that's the case, I'll have to bondo some of them up. I don't know, but it looks good. It's basically done. Ready to go back on the car if I ever get my pistons for my engine block, and we can start assembly. But for right now, that's one more part that's done. Just keep moving on.